How do we do this again? Oh, right. Welcome to the Party Invite podcast, where we strive to bring together a diverse group of enthusiasts to play, discuss, and enjoy everything video games. I am Chairman Mao, and joining me today is SovereignSyd.
Hello.
Vilos.
It's me.
We're going to talk about what we've been playing, of course, and we will hit the drop and run you through some of the recent gaming news. Vilos, let's start with you since you have two games you've been playing. What have you been playing?
Yes, sir, I have. I got into Dying Light Platinum Edition. That is what appeared on Switch late last year. I picked it up right off the bat for like the $50. That was the full price when it released. Because I wanted to really just support Techland for what they do, because we've all heard the stories of what they've been doing with Dying Light 2 and how much content there is for that game. Dying Light Platinum Edition, well, there's just as much content. I think it came with like 4 different DLC packs, and technically, the following expansion it might as well be its own game, and then the Hell Raid is actually its own game. Hell Raid is basically a Skyrimmed version of Dying Light that was actually supposed to be its own game to release like a couple years ago, and it was kind of in development hell, and they decided to just shove it into Dying Light.
Rate it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And so I actually completed both the Dying Light campaign as well as 3 out of the 4 story quests in Hell Raid. Because I will say, if you're interested at all in getting some really good zombie fun in, this is really great. I haven't played co-op yet, so that's the only thing that's still like a question mark. But
are you playing this on Switch?
Yeah, this is the best running Switch port I have seen. It's fantastic. It really runs well, and like everything you're seeing on this video, like it's the game. I did look at some like the PC version and stuff like that, which obviously the PC version will be better, but it's not that significant of a difference, really. The only time you're going to see something that's really noticeable is if you're dealing with like a top of the line graphics card, ray tracing and shit like that, because like it does have really fantastic lighting and stuff that's kind of behind the scenes, but you're still not missing anything. Like I put up a Twitter post or two, and I have like 20 different screenshots on my Switch of just the really beautiful vistas that are in this game, because it's one just large open world that is fully parkourable. Almost no loading. Like there's certain places that you'll go to press A and hold the button down or whatever to enter into a new door, but it's not just a new door to a new place. It's an actual like going straight to a cutscene and doing all this other shit. So it's really, the world itself is seamless unless you're moving in between certain quests. There's not fast travel, which I honestly didn't actually expect. I knew that parkour was like the main theme of this game, but I thought that there would at least be an unlockable fast travel at some point, just because of how many quests there are. But no, you will real-time parkour across this giant city an endless amount of times. But if you're familiar with Dead Island and you appreciated how that played way back when, that's pretty much what Dying Light is, except it's ratcheted up. The realism is a little bit better. The actual like melee combat is better, and overall, it just feels so good to ruin all these zombies.
Are you playing on a with like a pro controller? Or are you playing?
Yeah, I played with pro controller. I don't think it would be too bad with Joy-Cons, but the thing is that at least the control scheme I was using, most of the parkour stuff is on the right bumper and the right trigger. So like I don't think that Joy-Con would necessarily be the most comfortable for a long playthrough of that, because you're constantly having to not only like you tap it and then you hold it. So you tap it to jump, and then you tap it to grab onto something as you're falling. And that's literally, you're doing that the entire game.
Yeah.
Like you're doing more parkour than you are combat if you're doing it right. Um, Especially in sections that it turns into nighttime and all the zombies just get fucking ratcheted a thousand times more powerful than they were during the day. But the quests are fun. The story is pretty good. It gets a little tropey at times, just with kind of overstaying its welcome with this bad guy that's like really reminds you of the Walking Dead bad guys. You know, like the governor or something like that. You know this guy's just super evil for no real reason, and like everything he's doing is kind of stupid because if your main character had just been like, dude, this entire place is going to be bombed with you in it. Can you just fucking stop being a prick for like 2 seconds? If he had said that, then half of the game would have been like, oh yeah, we should just get the hell out of here. Um, because that's really what it evolves into is that your character is infected at the beginning of the game basically and dying the whole time, and one of these leaders of these this group of people is just kind of running his own little world and shooting literally everybody on his own team that does anything that's like a minor mistake. um so any tropes that come along with that's like that's really like my only thing that I didn't really uh love about the story, but otherwise it was a really great game. I cannot recommend it enough. It's actually been on sale for like I think 25 and $30 over the past few weeks.
Yeah.
I think it's going back to regular price soon, but if you can find it for that, like there's so much game here. I played easily 40 hours. I think it was 28 hours was my campaign time. Uh, and then the Hell Raid mode was about 12 hours, and that since it has a raid mode in it, it actually forces you to replay in order to get to your next quest. And I actually looked up that fourth quest, the fourth and final quest for Hell Raid, and the internet was not kind about what the devs did to that final quest, and a lot of players were saying it was basically impossible and it was just a time grind, like a time sink. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna not and call it good on the quest, the third quest of the game. So
Wow, fake gamer. Can't even do all the quests. Mm-mm.
you
Hate to see it.
literally, oh my god. So like it's one of those things where you're supposed to play the raid mode, so it's basically just running through a dungeon. Except when I say just, it's like a 3 hour dungeon run that you don't get out of. Like you don't save. It's a raid, so you just play through it in full. That's then it opens up your quests. You get quest one. Guess what you do? You do that whole damn thing again. Then you open up your second quest. And at that point is when the game changes slightly, but you're still doing a whole 3 to 4 hour raid again. It's basically not changing. It's changing like 5 minutes of gameplay. Otherwise, the rest of it's the same raid that you've just been playing. It's wild,
Hmm.
but Dying Light itself, like the full game, and the fact that it's coming with all this other shit is fantastic. Um,
And this is like a game, like at the port, you just download it or whatever. It's not like cloud, like control or anything. It's like an
yeah,
actual.
it's not a cloud version. I've got it on
Wait, hold
cartridge
on.
sitting right over here. And on cartridge, I don't even think there was a download on this one.
Huh.
I checked for updates the other day, and there were no new updates. So I
You
think
love to see
everything
it.
is on the cartridge. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Nice.
But that is Dying Light Platinum Edition on Switch. If
Okay,
anybody
yeah.
is
With
intrigued by that,
with those ports, you got to be careful on Switch, especially. There's
yeah,
some you should probably stay away from.
for sure. And like to me, that it was a game that was actually like very visually comparable to a Plague Tale, and a Plague Tale was a cloud version game on Switch, and even Hellblade. I think Hellblade technically had a cartridge version and a cloud version on Switch, but like at the end of the day, like everything that's between 2015, 2017 that came out on other systems that's getting ported over at this point, we kind of just assume it's going to be cloud. So it was really
Like
good
Kingdom
to
Hearts.
go through this.
Can't wait for Kingdom Hearts 4 on the Switch 10 years from now.
Uh,
Ooh, it's gonna be fun.
That one's just pathetic and an actual money grab. But
Um,
yeah, that was the first game. So
oh yeah. Um, so I haven't been able to play much with everything that I've been doing, but in the past couple days, I have been able to play video games. How tight is that? Video games are
that's
cool.
awesome.
Video games are
Uh,
tight.
so this is part what I've been playing and part PSA. But this month's PlayStation Plus is super duper on the games that they're giving you for free. Um, it's like FIFA 22, Trials of Midgard, and both of those are PS5, PS4. And then the game I've been playing the most is Curse of the Dead Gods, which I've talked about on the show. Um, uh, this game fucking rules. It's just very good. It's just one of those roguelites that you can just sink so much time into because the combat is satisfying. It's basically Hades without the story bits. So graphically, it looks really good. Uh, it's just I like there's a there's a weird push and pull of this game where you're figuring out how different weapons work together. You have like a primary weapon and a second hand weapon and a two-handed weapon. And figuring out how those kind of work together and how those can stack together and you can do cool combos. But there's also this, you'll see that he's like carrying a torch around. When you're in the light, you deal more damage. But if you're in the dark, you take more damage. So it's like on you to like figure out to where those pyres are, light them, light like spider webs on fire to catch things on fire. You can light your enemies on fire. Um, there's that, and there's also this like in the bottom right hand corner there, you can see there's like a little purple bar. Once that purple bar fills all the way up, you get cursed, and it'll be something like you'd find in like Darkest Dungeon, where um, it makes you run a little bit more difficult. I wish I could think of an example of one right now, but they'll one of them that I keep getting that really pisses me off is all chests will attack you, and you have to parry them to open them. But when you do parry them, um, it'll drop more stuff. Um, uh, this game is so much fun. Like I realized like the other day I'd been playing like for a few hours, and I was like, oh shit, how did that happen? Um, something I'm noticing is I like played a little bit on Game Pass, which I believe it's leaving Game Pass. Is that what you said,
Mhm.
Carlos?
Yeah, I think that's in the next week and a half.
Yeah. So you can play it for a week on Game Pass if you have Game Pass. But like I said, it's free on PS Plus, and I've seen it on sale for like really really cheap on like PlayStation sales and other sales. But yeah, it's I'm now to like the second level of missions. There's like three at the bottom, and then it like opens up, and there's like another three, and then another three, and then like the final dungeon. And from what I've gathered, the second level of those is um, that first boss that you faced in that first version of it is now in there twice, and so you have like a path like you would have in what's that card game that Thomas and I played a shit ton of? Fuck.
You talking about inscription or
Nope, not that one.
uh,
Nope, nope. That's a good guess though. Close.
uh, the Eden one?
Slay
One
the
step from
Spire.
Eden? Oh, okay.
You know how in Slay the Spire, as you like
Which
go
card game?
along, it bridges. I guess they did this in description too, where it like bridges off, and if you go
Mhm,
here, you'll know that the next room is like a healing room, or this is like you'll get money at this one, or whatever.
mhm.
Um, there's just there's that. It's very very good. If you are in a place where you're like, I'd really like to play Hades, but I don't really want to play Hades because I've done all I can do with Hades. It's I'm past that. Check out Curse of the Dead Gods because it is right there. It is to me just as good gameplay wise. It just happened to. I think it came out like 6 months after Hades, so it just had just poor timing. You know what I mean? Like it was like people were still playing Hades, and so this one got kind of left in the dust. But it's very good. It's published by Focus Interactive. Um, it's very very good. It's like if you combined Hades and Darkest Dungeon, I would say. Um, And yeah, just like the way it's constantly like asking you to make sacrifices. Like if you go to a if you like see on the map that hey, I can get a weapon in the next place. When you get into that room and you defeated all the enemies, then it'll be like a little shrine that you go up to. And you either pay money, so like the coins that you've been collecting to get those, or you pay in that it says pay it in blood, which gives you more corruption. So each time that bar fills up, you get corrupted. And you'll get like a weird bad thing. Sometimes they're not that bad. Like the parrying of chest really sucks. But sometimes it's like, oh, you take uh, you take 20% more damage in the dark. So like it's like, oh, you really need to make sure that you make sure things are lit and like things like that. Uh, but there's 5 little blips of those above the purple bar. Once you get to the 5th one, it's red. So if you get 5 curses in one run, which sometimes it'll randomly give you 2, which is the worst. I was like, no, why did I get 2 right at the end of this run? Um, Once you get to the last one and it's red, your life will just drain the entire time. So no matter what you're doing in the run, it'll just keep ticking down.
That's
It's like
ominous. Oh my god.
yes, so it really like you're forced to like make these decisions of and sometimes you'll pick up these relics that like give you like passive bonuses and things like that. And sometimes if you don't want to pick them up, you can I think it says offer to them to the gods. It can lower your corruption, and some of the better relics can actually remove a curse. But it's all like randomly generated, so you have a lot of times like in these type of games where you kind of don't get the combo you need, or you're like kind of just messing around with a combo of weapons and things and like testing it out. You do okay, but you're like, by the time you're at the boss, you're like, I'm not winning this. I'm fucked. Like you're just like, there's no way I'm going to beat this boss. I'm not doing enough damage. This curse is killing me. They
Literally.
I've been getting ones where and each time you pass through a door, you get corrupted slightly. So you get like 20 corruption anytime you pass through a door. And I got one today where the curse gave me you don't pay you don't pay for corruption in blood, you pay for it in money. So like it started also just like taking money. Like so my money kept going down and I was like, "Ah, this is bad. This is so bad." So like not only am I getting corrupted, instead of me taking damage from it, it was taking my money. I was like, "This is not good. I need money to buy things to make myself better. This is not going to help." Um, but yeah, it's really fun. You can get a ton of time out of it. Um, I think I looked. I'm on the second tier of things, and I'm like 12% or 15% through the game, and I'm like,
Damn.
"That's Jesus." Like I have a lot to do. Um, because those second tier ones are longer. So basically, it's you have like those maps that you go up, and then at the end there's a boss. Well, in the second tier, it's like you go up there and there's a boss, and then there's another path, and then another boss. So you have to beat that same boss twice in the same run. That's even longer. And the enemies are all stronger. So it's really forcing me to get good right now. And it's tough. I got to get better at parrying and not just going in there all crazy.
Said
Um,
every Elden Ring player ever.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not as devastating as that though. Um,
Not until
um,
you get to tier 3, if there's one.
I bet some of those enemies are really gonna start pissing me off. They already pissed me off. It's also like the enemies that are like the bigger enemies don't bother me. It's the little fucking minion enemies that come in with a really long flash. I'm just like, why in the hell can you jump so far? What is this? Um, But yeah, it's a good game. I check it out. It's free, so you have nothing to lose.
It's both on Game Pass and PS Plus right now.
It's on Game Pass and PS Plus right now, but Game Pass it should be gone by the end of the week, I believe. So
Cool.
probably once they drop all those games, it's usually like
Mhm.
once the big games of May have dropped, they'll pull those last ones. So I think you have like a month left, or a week or so. Which also that you can just get your fun out of that. Play it for a week and be like, all right, cool, that was fun.
This is great. Yeah.
I'm out. um. Anyway, Saab, what have you been playing?
I have been playing this like really indie game called Halo Infinite. It's like
What?
super duper single A, not even like it's like half A, not even a whole
Yeah,
A.
single A developer.
Not even a whole way.
It's just it's half A. Um,
I mean, can you compare that half A to another studio game? That's my question.
Well, the only thing that comes to mind is probably the really old Halo, like from way back in the day, that really like small indie title on the Xbox. That's probably the only other thing I can be like really compare
Combat
it to.
Evolved, I believe that was called. Yeah.
I've not heard of that one either. Somehow.
So tell us about this season 2, Debbie, because I deleted Halo from my my PC because I was like, I don't think I'm coming back. And then I look in the party invite, open invite
And
the
there's
other
like
night.
8 of us in
Read
there.
all in there.
Halo.
Yeah, see, like even though I didn't play Halo a lot before, I still decided to keep it like on my system because I knew that season 2 is going to be coming out, and I know that like all of the people in our community are going to want to jump on that for like BTB and whatnot. So they added some questionable changes as far as like changes to like balance, quote unquote, the game are concerned. A lot of people who are in the competitive scene for Halo are upset that they removed some of the more skill-oriented jumps from the game that took advantage of the terrain and navigating the map using like jets off of the buildings and whatnot. So everyone understands why they did that. It's to like narrow the skill gap so that more people will have access to play. But at the same time, like there's not really much of a skill gap to begin with in Halo Infinite. Like it's one of the easier Halos to play. So some competitive pros on Twitter are kind of like, sounding the alarm about that. But they did come out with some new modes and maps. Two of the new maps. One, if you're watching right now on the video, it's this is one of the new maps, and I don't remember what it's called, but the other one is called Catalyst.
Whatever that person just did is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing that in a real game. Just saying. And yesterday's on Game Pass. Woohoo!
Yeah,
But
so what's the season pass? Are we still doing the same grind that we were doing before where it was like, wow, I'm not really earning anything for any of this?
well, the thing about the battle pass is that is really cool is if you didn't finish the first battle pass, you still have the option to equip and work on that one. So like you
Oh, okay.
you don't lose access to any of that stuff like you would in another game that has a battle pass in it. Like you normally it's like it's one and done. You'll never see any of that stuff again unless it's for like an anniversary release of the game, celebration of the game.
Right.
But other than that, you'll never see it again. In Halo Infinite, you can actually swap between both battle passes at leisure. So you can work your way up on Battle Pass 2 to whatever items you want from there, and then switch back and finish Battle Pass 1 if you want. Or you could just finish Battle Pass 1 and then go and finish Battle Pass 2. So a lot of different ways to approach that if you want. Plus, there's a new event called like Interception or something. I can't remember the name of the actual event, but it's a new
You die in your dream, you die for real.
no Interception.
Oh,
And
that's
it has something to do with like alien AI. That's as much as I know about it. So like basically a bad Cortana. What was the name of that AI from Guardians of the Galaxy, the video game? World Mind? I can't
Yeah.
remember. Kind of like that, it seems like, but like more evil. Not as questionably evil or malevolent. Like it's very definitely evil.
I see.
So that event has its own battle pass, which you can do, and it has a lot of items in there that you can unlock. And you can progress on that more quickly by accomplishing achievements in the new mode, which is Last Man Standing, or Last Spartan Standing. Because they have to have a battle royale. Because it's not a good game unless you have one. So basically, the way that works is that you get limited respawns, and it's kind of like a mix between like a battle royale and attrition. So or strikeout in Rogue Company if you're more familiar with that. You have the limited spawns, and then once all of the spawns are gone, you're obviously out of the game. But you can choose to spectate and see, what happens at the end, or you could just leave the lobby with no consequences after that. But what's really neat is that you level up in Last Man Standing. So when you eliminate somebody, it's like gun game. You eliminate somebody, you get what's called like personal. Gosh, what do they call it in the game? It's basically XP, but they call it like personal score or something like that, which is weird, whatever. But you get your personal score, and you level up your loadout because you start out with a pistol, your sidekick, and you start out with the electric short gun thing. I can't remember what that's called. Then you level up once, and you get the mangler, and then you get your AR, and then you get so forth and so on. So as you're trying to survive this last man standing mode, you're leveling up your loadout. You could collect bonus experience by fully eliminating, like completely sidelining an opponent. They'll drop like a little orb, kind of like in Valorant, where you can just sit there and like, I hope nobody shoots at me. Just look around the map and make sure you're safe and all that whatnot. So it's an intriguing mode. I'll say that much. I'm not really one for free-for-all modes. I hate free-for-all modes because whenever you die, like, you respawn and then there's like two people already there. And it's just like, you don't get a break. You don't get a chance to breathe. And I know that the best strategy to winning a free-for-all is to like not die, but that's hard. It's hard in a free-for-all.
Or did not die.
It's very hard. It's all about third parties. Like, I don't really like the third party strategy. I mean, I guess it's like effective because, oh, that person's one shot, okay, run away, But like, there's no fun in that. And there's definitely no honor in that. So it's not for me. It's not for me. But I mean, there are going to be a lot of people who were looking forward to this mode who are, I think, excited about the potential that it will have, in the long run. I just wish I played on a different map because so far I've only ever played on the new map, the sunset looking map. And I'm like, y'all got like 6 more maps. So.
Yeah, it is a pretty decent big team map though. Just the way they set it up, it's pretty cool. The ridiculous amount of vehicles though, although like half of them get trashed in that middle canyon
the laser
where
pit?
the laser comes by. I don't see Russ in chat, but we both got each other pretty good the other day when we played. It was a good old time. I decided to make that jump in the canyon, and I'm pretty sure the laser was not there, but the laser just decided to make its way over on top of both of us. Yeah. He got me back. He got me back by absolutely slaughtering me and a ghost later, though, so it was all good.
Yeah, that was a fun night. Like everybody in the community just hopping on, and just for that one brief moment, everything was okay. And then someone got a bullshit headshot on you, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm not having any fun anymore. But no, they made a lot of changes to Halo. They removed Bazaar from the Slayer maps, and they added it to King of the Hill, which is another new mode in the game. So there's King of the Hill now, which honestly I'm surprised it didn't launch with, but whatever. They had to have some content to put in season 2, I guess, since co-op's been delayed again. Whatever. So King of the Hills, as you would expect, you start out with your basic weapons, and then the hill is like over here. You have to go to the hill, hold the hill. It's intriguing because first you have to take control of the hill, and then you start accumulating points. It's not like you accumulate points while you're on the hill, like in other King of the Hill games. So first you have to claim the hill for your team, and then holding it is what actually starts building up the points for you. So that's nice because it means you can't just like dip and dodge, like, on and off the point, just to accumulate points that way. And you have to stay there on the point, which is really neat. But other than that, it's pretty, like, it's a pretty basic King of the Hill mode. So yeah, that's Halo Infinite Season 2. Oh, and they updated some new skins in the shop, I guess, because they vaulted all the Season 1 like team skins for the partner bundles and whatnot for the esports teams. And now they have some new cosmetics coming out. Actually, I think they're already out for Season 2, and they look the same-ish. I mean, they're team colors, so there's not really much you can do to like change them. But they're certainly shinier. I don't know. I'm not really interested in any of the teams available to purchase anyway, so there's no skin off my nose.
One in there.
Oh, there's a skin. Okay, so there's like this black and pink skin that apparently was like event only in January, and it's never coming back, and it was the only skin that I ever wanted. And I'm sad. I think it was called like Electric Bubble or something like that, but it's like all black except for like the visor and like some of the elbow pads, and it's like super duper hot fuchsia pink. Ugh, I'm so mad. I missed out on it because like there was no, as far as I know, there was like no notification about it at all. about when it was. I thought it was just gonna like rotate through the shop or whatever because I saw it in like one of the banners. But no, it was an event skin. Never gonna see it again. That day. Uninstalling.
So easy to do that.
Yeah.
Just drop it.
Yeah, I mean, the FOMO is real, but I don't think I'll miss it that much. 2 days later. Hello. What else you got
Vilos.
for us? Yeah.
Yeah, what you got?
Yeah, my next one's gonna be a quickie. But the second game I played over the week was Ruiner. Ruiner is by Raycon Games, and this is published by Devolver, of fucking course. It
It's
is
very Devolver.
it's a very red and black cyberpunk dystopian future top-down shooter. Uh, it's very cool. It's almost an arcade shooter.
Yes.
Just because of how the world is presented. It's very on rails. Um, you don't really have any exploration, but you're just opening up these chests to get money or karma, as they called it. And then you've got your these little health panels that you walk on, or energy panels that you walk on, to obviously help your energy or your health, because your energy is what fuels your abilities that you have. There's like 8 to 10 different abilities that you can progress throughout the game, that just make you better at everything, obviously. But you've got things like an energy shield that can pop up in front of you. It deflects certain projectiles or certain lasers and stuff like that. You've got like shot grenades, frag grenades. Um, you've got a few throwables, but most of it is really about the guns that you pick up, and you can always carry around a melee weapon and a gun, and it's just a very satisfying game.
It's fun. It gets really hard. It is not easy.
Yeah, there's a couple moments that really give you the like Smash TV vibes of just, hey, take down all these enemies. Fuck you. Like that's it. That's all they give you. Um, but the good thing is, I decided to try it on normal mode, and it wasn't too bad until like the second to last fight, and I knew it was the second to last fight. Like you just feel that moment. You're like, you know what? And so I went ahead and turned it on to easy for that last bit, because I was done with it. I had already played like 5.5 hours. I knew that I could get it done in like 30 minutes. I was like, let's just do it, because I was there for the story. The story is really cool. Uh, for it being such a short story, the cyberpunk stuff was just fantastic, though. Um,
Yeah, it's
because
good.
your character, you don't know who you are really. You basically just have the motivation of uh, you've got to kill the boss, and you don't really know why, but you need to know who you are. You're getting driven by this girl hacker. You just know her as her throughout the game, and she's telling you all this stuff, and you feel like you're getting a little brainwashed at times, but you know that at the very beginning of the game you actually were brainwashed. So you're like fighting with yourself, with what your true motivations are. Eventually, you have to go find your brother, and some revelations happen and stuff like that. But it's super cool. The story is presented in some cool little cutscenes and some very beautiful visual novel style like transitions and stuff. Um, I really can't recommend it enough, though. It's really great, and it's on sale right now because all of Devolver's stuff is on sale for the next week or so. So if you
We're
need
at
something on Steam, on Steam, I think it's probably on Switch too, where everything's on sale. But pretty much everywhere you can get a Devolver game, everything's on sale. I think Ruiner's $4, maybe even $3.50 right now. So it's a good time. I really recommend it. I played it on Switch. It runs incredibly well. So I like any computer even would be able to do just fine. Um,
It kind of
it's
reminds me of like, what is that Cyber Ninja game? Like the first person Cyber Ninja game? Oh
a
gosh, what was it
Ghost
called?
Runner. Yeah.
Ghost Runner? Is that what it's called? It reminds me of
Mhm.
that and a fusion of, it's like between that and Katana Zero.
Yeah, very much so. Like you're absolutely right on that. It's a very satisfying game. Um, it's like once you know which abilities are going to be the most successful, you're good. Like you're just you know turn off the brain and just hack and slash. Um, very easy to control, but yeah, at some points, especially towards the end of the game, it really just purposefully throws some shit at you that it knows you're gonna die. Like it just knows, and you're not really like penalized or anything. It's not a roguelike, the saves are relatively good checkpoints, so you're
Yeah,
not
it's
really missing
currently
out when you do die.
Ruiner is currently $3.99 on Steam. I remember I picked
Hell
this
yeah.
up on a PlayStation sale or something like that around Christmas time or like one of those holidays where they did a big sale, and I was like, oh, $5 totally.
Yeah,
Uh,
and if
Very
you're just
cool.
like in the mood for something cyberpunk, this satisfies it perfectly.
Yeah, it's a
Y'all,
cool little thing.
I need more games like this to play like while I'm at work because all I have is just like
Mhm.
stuff that uses the internet and like the mall internet kind of like sucks. Oh, I think this is an ad.
Mm,
Yeah, and there's a couple little things in it that I didn't explore. There's I think two quests that I didn't complete in it. Um, one of them is like if you die 50 times, you can go to this like bar of suffering. It's like this whole dominatrix nightclub sort of thing. I have no idea what
Interesting.
happens there because I didn't reach 50 deaths until like the final boss, which I died to like fucking 12 times. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Really recommend grabbing that up for anybody that needs something quick. And it really is something that you can pick up and put down, no problem.
yeah, I enjoyed my time with it. I just didn't. I don't think I got to the end. I feel like I was close, and I just, for some reason or another, fell off or something.
Well, it looks like I'll have to download it and show you boys how it's done.
Yeah.
I did see an end time on one of those YouTube videos of I think it was 3 hours and 11 minutes. So there's your standard to beat.
Oh, I didn't say I was going to do it quickly. I'm just not going to do it without all the deaths. you know, I'll just be surviving and thriving.
There you go.
But I mean, duly noted. We shall see.
Let's get into the drop. We got some hot news dropping
Sexy
on
news.
all of our heads this week. I'm gonna start. I have these out of order, Debbie. I'm gonna start with this Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake.
Sure.
Um, Here's your headline: Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake changes developers. I'm gonna read you the quote, the image that they posted just the other day on May 3rd. It says the development of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake will now be led by Ubisoft Montreal, the very birthplace of the epic Sands of Time trilogy. This decision is an important step, and the team building upon the work achieved by Ubisoft Pune, Pune, and Ubisoft Mumbai will now take the time they need to regroup on the scope of the game to deliver you the best experience for this remake of an all-time classic when it is ready. We want to thank you all for your continuous support and patience throughout the development. Rest assured that we will update you on the progress in a future update. Um,
Hmm.
the trailer for this game that came out a year ago, um, I think we all have been spoiled by what a remake is supposed to look like. Thanks, Final Fantasy VII remake. Um, it literally just looked like a reskin, like a slightly more high definition skin of the original game. So it doesn't really look very good. I was excited they were remaking the game, but like I was like, wow, this doesn't look very good. And I think Ubisoft was like, hey, you know what? This doesn't look very good. And I'm sure it had a lot of other issues as well.
So I
Um,
think this is like I just need some clarity right quick. So it doesn't look good.
Yeah, no, click on that YouTube link right underneath that and pull that up, and you'll see what I mean.
It
Okay.
had the classic 360 era plastic people.
Yeah, there's
right?
like a weird plasticky, blocky something. Like I know it's a remake, but like their hands would be like this. Do you know what I'm talking about? When video games hands, they just had the claws. That's what I gathered from this trailer that they released a year ago. So I can't imagine that it got much better for them.
Okay, bear with me because I actually closed the window that usually captures the trailers and stuff, so I'm gonna have to readjust it after I switch transitions here.
Perfect. But I don't know about you all, but Prince of Persia: Sands of Time is up there with one of my like favorite games of my like high school times, and
Well, I mean, I told you.
this thing is it's tough to look at. I I remember like getting excited, being like, "Oh, cool, Sands of Time," and then I mean that's the original game, but when they go, "It's HD," it's like, is it? Look at that! Look at his face! It just can't. I can't. Yeah. So it
I
just.
actually remember this trailer.
Yeah. Something's just off. Something is wrong. Like something's wrong.
I don't hate it, but the animation is still like very much the way it was.
It looks like they
Yeah.
focused like all of the HD, quote unquote, like on the sand and stuff.
On the sand and
Yeah.
like maybe their clothing, but not actually the rendering of the people.
hmm
Yeah. It just looks. I'm not saying. Look, I know we're spoiled in this day and age. I'm not saying that this is the worst looking game I've ever seen, but when you're remaking one of people's favorite games, you want to make sure you nail it. And I had a feeling that they weren't exactly stoked about the way this was, you know, the reception. I don't think they loved. And I know that the Mumbai studio and everything from Ubisoft, they're a little inexperienced. They're a newer studio. Um, so maybe they were just like, all right, look, this is taking too long.
Yeah.
We're pulling this and we're going to give it back to Montreal and they're going to finish it. But I wouldn't hold your breath on this game coming out anytime soon. And if it does come out soon, be terrified. Like, be very terrified. Because that was supposed to come out in January 2021.
Well, also we got to remember that like the pandemic happened and everything, and
Right. Yes, of course.
delayed pretty much everything that was supposed to come out like
I think that
anytime
one's had
soon.
3 delays in that time, and they made a big deal about it every time. So it is even sadder that they did the whole studio change at this point, because it would be very surprising, honestly, if we saw it see the light of day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be very wary of what this game is. I would not buy this right away. I would maybe wait till some reviews come out, and then I would make my decision then. I would just be warning, danger, Will Robinson. They might be ruining the Prince of Persia remake. Just red flags everywhere.
I don't really, I mean, as long as it looks better than it used to, I don't really care what it looks like. I care what it sounds like. Like, the most important thing to me for like a remaster is how everything sounds. Because we definitely have the technology to make something sound super duper crisp, all up in my ear, IMAX experience. Okay. Like when I went to HCS, which I will talk about later, they had like this Dolby section where you could experience the game in like Dolby Atmos. Oh my God. It felt like I was there.
Good.
Yeah, it was amazing. It felt like, I mean, space isn't supposed to have a sound, right? They put sound in space. Like, that's how good it was. So, like, we have the technology to make games, old games, sound good and better than they used to. So, for the purposes of remastery and everything. So, that's what I'm looking for.
Well, Debbie, do you want to knock out 2 of your stories here, and then I'll we'll have Carlos do his, then I'll pop back to mine, and then you can do your last two there.
Sure. So,
Just split them
speaking of the HCS, which is what I was going to talk about, that just happened over as of this recording last weekend, and we had to go support our local team, the KC Pioneers. We, as in the royal we, meaning myself, because I went alone. And I actually met up with a couple of friends there. The whole weekend I spent just seeing people that I hadn't seen forever, reconnecting with people. A lot of the KC Game On people were there. And of course, I have some friends within the Pioneers, so it was nice to see them like in person again and, support the actual Halo team. I got to meet one of my inspirations, Lottie von Prague, who is the female caster for the HCS series. She also used to do, I believe, Call of Duty as well, but I don't know her from that. Oh my gosh, she's such a sweetheart, y'all. The reason I wanted to go to this was because, first of all, I've never been to like a really big, like super duper esports competition LAN event like that, I've been to KC Game On's like LAN parties and things like that, they have those LAN events and like every so often. And actually, I think there's one this month coming up. I think it's on the 21st, if I'm not mistaken. But so that's another LAN event. But this is like something on a whole other scale. Like I felt like I was at the Super Bowl. And, the stage arrangement wasn't even like spectacular or anything, but it was still mind blowing. It was awesome. All the lighting and the production value of the actual streams. It's a whole new world, y'all. Like it was definitely worth the money to spend for the tickets. I wouldn't say the parking, but I live here, so of course I don't think parking's worth it because I just live here. But if you have a chance to go to any kind of production like that, splurge and go. I mean, whatever else is going on in your life, if you have the ability to go, please do yourself a favor and go. Like if you're intrigued in like video game competition at all, you owe it to yourself. It's so much fun, and you get to meet a lot of cool people and experience a lot of cool things. Like I was saying earlier, I went to the Dolby booth to play Halo and experience it with their like Atmos surround sound system, which I guess is like their new thing. And oh man, I mean, for the people that are local to this area, KC Mo, if you ever went to go see Interstellar at the Alamo Draft House before they closed down, it was basically that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and what's really neat is that Dolby Atmos is apparently just built into software already. So all you need to do is just activate it. I'm just like, I've been sitting here on subpar sound this whole time.
Yeah, that's Xbox has officially made that proprietary now.
So cool. I can't wait to like upgrade my Halo, because I don't have an Xbox, so I have to upgrade Halo only. I think that's the only game with proprietary Atmos right now on PC, but I could be wrong. I haven't really researched it that much. But what was really neat about that is that they actually interviewed me during the experience, which was bittersweet because like I was playing on controller and y'all. Anyway.
The disappointment.
Well, no, that it's just
hard.
that I'm so terrible on a controller. Well, now, because I used to be a console player, like back in like Team Fortress 2 days or whatever. But now I'm just mouse and keyboard, pretty much strictly, unless it's like a platformer or a fighter or anything like that, then I'll use a pad. But the first 5 minutes of that interview was me catapulting myself off the map with the grapple shot, trying to figure out the buttons.
Pro player, right there.
Pro player. I was just like, no pressure, it's fine. But eventually, I figured it out, and then we got some really, really cool gameplay shots, and they got some sound bites and stuff. So when that interview goes live, I'll be sharing it on my personal Twitter for all to see. So that'll be cool, I think. But HCS is just something else, back on topic. It's just an electric atmosphere. All the people are so passionate. They're so hyped up. And I've never been sucked into like expectation like that before. Like I grew up in a football household, so I understand kind of like the deal, quote unquote. But I've never really felt that about anything until HCS, So yeah, I think the next one is in Florida, I think. I'm not saying I'd consider flying out there to watch it, but if TwitchCon weren't happening and I planned to go to that, I'd probably, I'd get a flight out there. Plus Florida, hello? So
Maybe if we got a few more subs, like several more subs, please. Yes.
I mean, I'm not gonna panhandle on it, but I won't be mad.
Now, who was the finals and the champ?
The champion were the Sentinels, and I actually forgot who they played to win the whole kit and caboodle. But what's really fun about that is that Lottie, the caster, is actually dating one of the players on Sentinels. And so it was really fun to hear her cheering for them because she'd be all professional on camera, with the analytics and everything. And then, oh, your camera. She'd be all super duper professional, breaking everything down, providing all the play-by-plays and, caster stuff. And then when she was off camera, during the matches and stuff, she'd be just, let's fucking go! Ah! But, more British. So, like, it was so cool
Great.
to see, like, both sides of the player, quote unquote. Because, I mean, she's not a player, but, there's the professional side and there's the passionate, supportive, fan side. So, yeah, it was just an amazing experience. Don't buy the water or drinks there. It's $6 for a Sprite. Don't do it. Bring your own. Don't do it. Sneak it in there like a movie theater. God, I think I spent $50 on concessions, and that was just Sprite. I like Sprite, y'all. But speaking of like competitions and what all, and esports and things, the Overwatch League has gone into full swing now. It's hip hop happening, y'all. It's out here. For those 5 people who want to watch. It is all live on, I think YouTube is where they're mostly showing it, and they might do VODs on Twitch or something, but YouTube is where they're pushing it, because if you connect your YouTube account to your Battle.net account, you actually have a chance to win a drop to get in to the Overwatch 2 beta. So, the Overwatch League, I believe, is actually consisting of Overwatch 2 PvP. So instead of the 6v6, now it's down to the 5v5. And, everyone has their rehashed abilities, the people who got their reworks and everything. And today was the first match that really, like, kicked everything off. That was earlier today at 2. So you can actually go onto their website and check out their schedule to see when they're playing more. A lot of the times, the games are during when I work. So I'll just throw up the screen on my computer and, hope I'll get a drop or whatever. Because I said I wouldn't support Blizzard because, everything they're going through, with my money. But if I get it for free, I'll play because I have friends that are playing. So, I'm also really interested to see how Sojourn, the new character, evolves. Because right now she's so hella basic and I hate it. She's literally, her backstory literally is just, I was in Overwatch with Jack Morrison. That's it. That's her, like, if you go watch her origin movie, she's like, yep. It's like an interview, like an interview with, I don't know who it is. I think it's Anna. But there's no like characters on screen. It's just voices over a narration of like, flashbacks and whatnot. And, she was just like, yes, I was there front and center with Jack and we were at war and blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, it's one of those things where it's like, when it's over, it's over. But, if it comes back, I'll consider blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, where's the character? This could have been anybody. I don't get it. I hope she evolves. I really do. Because, like, at first I was mad because I thought we were going to have, like, real, like, Black human representation. Like, like, more. But she's, like, a robot. So, well, okay, she is a human with, like, 90% cybernetic enhancements. Like, not as bad as Genji, who is literally a whole cyborg. But, like, it's like Ghost in the Shell, with Motoko. Basically that. You got the human soul inside the robot body or whatever. And, like, just give me a Black woman. Please. And I mean, like, American Black woman. I don't mean, like, Egyptian. I don't mean Egyptian Canadian. Sorry, Anna and Farah. Sorry. I don't mean Afro, like, Black, like, Brazilian. Sorry, Lucio. I want blackity black, black. Blacky black. Okay. We exist out here in the diaspora. Okay. We don't have to come from our roots. We don't know the roots. That's what that's the point. Anyway, so I'm keeping my eye on her because what I've been told by a reliable source is that she is fleshing out to be like a really cool character. So I'm hoping that comes to fruition. This source I trust because he's worked in video games for a very long time including at NetherRealm Studios, and the studio behind Redfall, whose name I can't remember. But now he's over at Blizzard Activision, and so I'm putting my trust and my hope in him. Yeah. So Overwatch League, they're doing Overwatch Beta 2. If you're trying to get in, pull up the screen over the weekend. You won't know that you got in until the 9th, because I guess, they want to make sure that they get all the drops out and sent and stuff. But apparently they're giving away 1,500 every hour, so there's pretty good chances you'll get in if you watch. If you care. So, I mostly want to play with like my friends. I really, from what I've seen, there's not much change at all between like gameplay wise. People say it feels faster paced. And without that 6th member, which is basically like the off tank, it's less shieldy, which is cool, because one of the biggest problems that people had with Overwatch 1 is that you're basically just shooting shields forever. So when they chopped off that 6th role, the role that seems to have been like the meta evolved into is that there's no more off tank. So you'll see fewer Zarya, you'll see fewer Winston, you'll see basically Moira Mercy and Reinhardt or Orisa. Especially with Orisa's new abilities, which are super duper cool. Like, she doesn't have her shield anymore, but she's got like a javelin reflecting sort of thing, kind of like Genji's deal. So she's still kind of like shield tanky, but not like shield tanky. So there are some interesting paths that characters have taken, and the meta is evolving in a way that I think I might like to observe. But other than that, it just looks and feels kind of like Overwatch 1, besides all the new maps and stuff. But I haven't played it personally, so I can't really like say for sure. Like, I cannot personally confirm that nothing is drastically different. I'm only looking on the outside, or on the outside looking in. So, but yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Esports.
Sports. Vilos.
Yeah, my bit is a big one for me. Like, it kind of hit me in a different way, because I saw it at like 2 a.m. when it was announced, or when the story broke on Kotaku. But Square Enix is seemingly getting rid of their Western licensing, because they decided to get rid of the IPs for Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, and Thief. Along with their studios, Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal, along with a huge catalog of IPs, not just those. Like Legacy of Kain was in there, so I'm excited about that. But they sold to Embracer Group, which is just another huge ass collection of studios that are making a ton of different things. Like, Embracer Group includes like Gearbox and THQ Nordic and Deep Silver already. So
Embrace our future overlords, Embracer Group.
yeah, exactly. And so like Embracer has already has like Duke Nukem and Saints Row, Dead Island, Time Splitters, Metro. They've got all these properties, and adding adding Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, Legacy of Kain. There were a whole lot of other ones that I forget right now. And all
Parasite
the
Eve, maybe?
Gex.
actually Gex probably is on
Gex
there.
is in there, yeah.
Parasite Eve, I don't know if that one
I
was
was
in
just
there,
throwing that
because
out
that
there.
one,
I don't like
yeah,
have a
because
list or
that was
anything.
the Japanese side of things. Like,
Oh, was it? Okay.
it really is
How
like
about
they're
the Avengers? How about the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy?
those are, let's see,
Technically licensed out titles, but those were made from that's Crystal Dynamics.
While
yeah,
you're verifying that, I do want to throw out there, because you said Gex, there has been a leak of Gex Junior, which is supposed to be like a kid-oriented, like a kid-focused game.
what?
Yeah, it's like there's pictures of it now. All of it, like, it's some kind of like ancient, thing. Like, they finally found it or whatever, and it just leaked all over the internet. And it's got like a little tiny gecko with like a little bill cap on, little red bill cap, because he's a child, so you got to wear a bill cap apparently if you're a child. Ness. But it's so cute, little baby Gex. I kind of wonder what kind of like writing it would have, considering it's aimed at kids, and the original Gex is decidedly not. So
You can only get so meta with like ideas that an 8-year-old can understand, unless you're just telling them like
Well, even just like
making
an
a
8-year-old
Hulk
from
joke or
that time
something.
period,
Yeah.
things were so different back then. Like, what's an 8-year-old going to be watching? Like Kablam on Nickelodeon? Like,
So like this is really Sleeping Dogs was another one
Yeah, there you go.
on that list. But all of these, and like I said, they're mostly the Western led teams, as well as IPs. They're going to sit with Embracer Group, who's already got a shit ton of stuff going on, but that means maybe we'll get some great new directions coming in. It's another one that costs a good deal of money, but it's nothing quite compared to the the Activision deal and stuff like that. But it was $300 million for these IPs and these studios that have made a shit ton more from that. And I don't have it in front of me, but the shittier part of it is that when they announced it officially a few days ago, they actually mentioned that they're using that $300 million to put towards blockchain stuff. Yeah. And Twitter had a hell of a time with that, as you could guess. And
why? Yeah, why?
yeah, so really, Square Enix is just sitting on the JRPG stuff that we know them for. Like that's really what they're going back to, which is in one way possibly good, but in a lot of other ways, it's like, guys, you had stuff and you just said that they weren't good things. Like people love the new Tomb Raider series, and we want more Deus Ex. And holy fuck, if people nowadays knew that Legacy of Kain was a thing, like they would be asking for new Legacy of Kain too, because that shit's tight. I mean, if we got the real remakes of Blood Rain in the past year, why the hell isn't Legacy of Kain? And like I have Defiance, I think, somewhere on my Steam library, but like it still plays exactly like it did in what, like '07 or
Wasn't that
something.
also a show? Am I thinking of the right thing? It was like a game that you played that like influenced the show. Am I thinking of, is
The
that the
sci-fi TV show, yeah.
Yeah. Is that the right thing or am I thinking of something else?
Legacy of Kain, I don't
No,
remember.
Defiance.
Oh, Defiance. Defiance, yes. There was a show sort of thing with Defiance and Legendary were both like that. Um,
Hmm.
those were odd
I wonder where
things.
those actors are now.
Yeah, it is Defiance.
Sweet.
Ah,
New
but
like memory unlocked right there. Like
Yeah.
it's a wild time though with all these acquisitions and stuff going on. This isn't going to be the last one that we see, I'm sure, but it's another one that's possibly going to make a big difference because these are games that people have been wanting, and Square has kind of been sitting on their ideas, thinking that people don't want new stuff with them. I don't understand it, but it's very intriguing story, and of course, it being an acquisition, it may take a couple years before everything comes to fruition for sure. But it's something to keep an eye on.
just give us another Super Mario RPG. Please. Please. That's all I
Please.
want in life.
Too bad.
We had a taste of it with, Paper Mario and
Paper.
Mario and
Yep.
Luigi, the Superstar Saga, et cetera, et cetera. But Paper Mario kind of went downhill after the second one. And Mario and Luigi's studio got what, like absorbed by someone else or whatever, and they're not doing
They got
those anymore.
axed completely. So
Oh, that's worse than I thought then. Okay,
Yeah.
well, step it up now. New studio. I already forgot the name. Who bought them?
Embracer Group.
Embracer Group. I embrace you, but
Embrace the overlords that are Embracer Group.
but my price is Legend of the Seven Stars 3. That's right. I want 2 of them. So give me 2 sequels.
Good luck with
In
that.
in some other news, Xbox and Bethesda showcase announced for Sunday, June 12th. I'm sure you guys know
That's right,
that.
my friend's birthday. Ah, that's so cool.
I'm sure you guys know that they are not doing E3 this year. It has been canceled. E3 said some inappropriate things and is now canceled.
Oh, was that why? I just thought
Yeah.
because it was like
Yes, and so Xbox is doing their presentation on how they do. I'm pretty sure they're always locked into a Sunday. That seems right. But I I would assume that this is y'all want to see some Starfield. Here's that
That's definitely gonna be
Starfield,
there.
and also how about remember that Deathloop game that was only on PS5? It's out right now, or it's coming to Xbox and PC around the holidays or something. I expect to see those. Things. And whatever. I'm sure there's. What am I forgetting? What's the other big
Okay, so
Senua's
there's going to be
Sacrifice?
Senua's Sacrifice. There has to be Plague Tale Requiem
Yep.
and release date.
Mm.
Redfall. We'll definitely have
Yes,
more
I'm
Redfall.
excited
Oh
about that.
right. Yep.
Um, Shit, there were a couple other things, but yeah,
Oh, did you
like
see
there's
that
going to
they
be
like
more
under the radar totally like are revitalizing what's it called? Brink? Did you see that?
What?
Don't give him hope.
What? Hold on.
Sorry, they're not. I just wanted you to be happy for a second.
What? Come on.
I actually would be because you were talking about Dying Light earlier and the parkour and everything, and I was thinking I would actually really love to see what Brink would look like nowadays. So
I
like
mean,
I would actually love to see them do something with that
The
for
only
real.
way you get me more excited is if you're like Lawbreakers is out right now.
Oh my God,
yeah.
I'd be gone. I would disappear from the cast right now and start playing.
I think it's still a rumor, but it was floating around today. Actually, I don't think we got it confirmed, but the rumor is that the showcase is actually 90 minutes. So
Yeah, there could
Like,
be
it's
some
gonna
kind
be
of
a
secret
lot.
announcements.
I
As there is on
mean,
Xbox.
showing showing gameplay from like Redfall and from Starfield, like
Mhm.
that's probably show like 20-minute chunks of that, and then
And then Senua, the movie.
oh
Senua the
yeah,
movie.
that's gonna be 15 minutes. I would really love though if they actually had an announcement about Halo campaign and or DLC. That would be fun. I don't think it's gonna happen now, but let's
Boo.
hope. Yeah.
Maybe, mayhaps. I mean, they've postponed the co-op, so don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
They might do the thing. The Forge is available right now.
Mhm.
Which is so weird to me that it didn't just launch with one, because I think I said this on a previous cast as well, that Splitgate beta, it's still in beta, it's like early access still. They have a Forge mode in beta already. And they're in early access. And they're just like a little
True.
tiny indie studio. What y'all doing with all that Microsoft money?
True, but I will say I haven't looked at what Splitgate actually offers there, but if you didn't play Halo 3 Forge, you wouldn't know the ridiculous depth of bullshit they added just to placate the masses of Halo fans. Like it's literally like putting Minecraft on top of Halo.
It seems
Like there's
pretty in
that much
depth.
bullshit in there.
I've
Yeah,
seen like
it's insane.
replications of actual like classic levels in the past of other games in Splitgate. Like they retweet like custom levels every so often, and
Mhm.
some of the ones that I've seen are really impressive. I don't think it's as meticulous as Halo 3's Forge, but it's pretty up there from what I've seen. Like the levels, like the textures look different, obviously because it's a different game, but the recreations have been pretty faithful. So I'm pretty surprised. I just wonder what they're gonna do with Halo, because it's definitely the desire for it is there. The demand is there. Stop spacing out content, because money, and just give it to us. Because they're gonna give you the money anyway. So like just get it now. What are you waiting for? You want money, don't you? What's the
Get it.
problem?
Um,
Speaking of things that have just been dated, uh,
mm,
Sonic Prime on Netflix has oh sorry, I was gonna talk about that later. Game Fest. Game Fest is dated for June 9th. So the Summer Games Fest, which is the big video game awards, but like in the summer, that has been announced to be on June 9th. Yeah. And they're partnering with IMAX to, give it the whole experience. So, if you're there in person, hey, cool. But if you're not, we actually might be streaming it. I think we still have to just like discuss things like that. But it sounds like something that we should stream. I think we should do it. I don't think we should get all fancy like we did last time for the Game Awards because it's just like a Summerfest sort of thing. But like,
well, that was so much fun though.
it
But
was
yeah,
fun.
we I guess for Summerfest we all wear like Hawaiian shirts and like swim trunks and stuff.
Swim trunks. That'd be funny though. I mean,
I
we wouldn't
mean,
be able to see the swim trunks, Obby, but like,
Right.
you know, maybe I just grab a fucking bottle of Patron. That's it. That's the whole fucking stream, guys.
I mean, that should be the stream now. It's Cinco de Mayo.
Sure.
So they announced that, and then
yeah.
back to the Sonic Prime, they released a teaser for the new Netflix show. It doesn't announce any dates or anything, but we get to hear Sonic's new voice. It's not Roger Craig Smith, it's not Ben Schwartz, and it's not like any of the other ones in the past. It is a new voice actor. Well, new to Sonic, but he is like an established name, named Devin Christian Mack. And what's exciting about that is that he is a Black voice actor. So Sonic hasn't had a Black voice actor since Jaleel White on the animated series. So this is actually really cool to see like this coming in, and I've actually heard the voice in the teaser, and it sounds like a very nice blend between like modern Sonic as we know him in like Sonic Boom and the old like Saddam Sonic. It's a nice little middle ground there, I think. But yeah, keep an eye out for updates on that, because this is a really good year for Sonic fans. They are eating. They are eating.
Did
out
you
here.
say hold on, did you say the old animated series was voiced by who now?
Jaleel White?
As in Urkel?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The more you know. I don't know the actual jingle, so y'all can't sue me.
I know it's after that. G.I. Joe.
But that's all that I have on my list. That's all I have to talk about.
Yeah, I mean the news stories we hit are pretty substantial. I mean, there's totally other stuff, but like Square Enix selling all those studios, that's huge. Like that changes I bet in like a week we hear Embracer Group plans on funding Deus Ex.
Yeah.
Like that, we're just going to start hearing all of that stuff start popping up. Prince of Persia is never coming out, and the Bethesda showcase, and Xbox showcase, it's going to be a big one. And you got to think too that PlayStation's also going to do a state of play during that time. That's also going to be huge because I'm still right about this, right? Like God of War Ragnarok is supposed to be coming out this year.
99% chance.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I totally forgot about Ragnarok.
the way that like Alana Pierce and some of the other devs that are like heavily on Twitter have talked about it, it's still on track.
That's got to
but
be the Christmas.
it
That's got to be the
could-
Christmas time.
It
thing.
could end up being instead of September to December instead. It could do that.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised on that. But
I mean, I was about to say to move units, and then I'm like, they have no units to move, so
exactly.
never mind.
And then Nintendo Direct, we might actually have an announcement within the next 2 weeks. So looking forward to that.
I'm actually surprised that Twitter's quiet about Nintendo Direct. It seems like they're satiated for now, because usually they're just like clawing at the, chomping at the bit for another Direct. So I think the things that they were most concerned about have been quelled, especially since we're not waiting on any more Smash characters anymore. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the two geekiest of the fandoms are fucking
Kirby
happy
DLC.
right now.
yeah, they're quelled. Although
Kirby
I still
DLC
do
was
see Splatoon 3 trend like every other day for no reason.
No, which trend?
Splatoon 3.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're keeping it alive.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it. I think we crushed that.
There is a lot to talk about.
I know we did it under an hour and a half. How the hell did that happen?
You and I only have one game each.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Cool.
Who wants to do the outro?
I thought
I
it
can
was just
do
gonna be. Yeah, I thought it was gonna. I'll leave it to you.
I didn't know for sure if Tegan actually wrote that or if you wrote that song.
I know I'm gonna.
Oh.
This and it's very funny. This has been the Party Invite Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, watching, or joining us in the live chat on Twitch. Here's your weekly reminder to find more of our content as well as our community by going to www.partyinvite.games. I've been Chairman Mao. And
The suspense.
well, it's like I read and improv line.
Well,
I've
that's the
been
line then.
Mao.
Bye, everybody.
That's been SovereignSyd. And that's been Vilos.
I mean, that was some great improv there, Chris.
You're
We're
welcome.
hitting on all
We'll
cylinders with
workshop
that.
it.
Watch us the same bat time and the same bat channel.
There you go.
Bye.
We'll be around. Bye.
And
Peace.